So on my lovely model, Sophia, first is just a lovely shout out to my colleague Tracy for putting this beautiful shape in. What I've done in the interest of time is done some pre-lightning, and I'm sectioning out, strategically placing the two cubes in Sophia's head. And how I've done that is just working above the temple on the right side here, but working underneath the parting. And I'm alternating two colors to complement this light denim color, as I'm calling it. And just, my goal here is to create some texture with the use of color. And how I'm gonna do that is I'm alternating two tones. And my first one, which I'll apply on the bottom, is more of a graphite gray. And then to the top, just going with a soft, smoky tone. I'll get into my formulas a bit later. And to achieve this, I'm gonna brush up first, and then brush down. And mainly taking inspiration of seeing the teens on the streets that do-it-yourself color. And I'm able to fold this up without both touching. So I'm able to secure it. And I'm gonna alternate that on both sides, working in tandem. Okay, I'm gonna continue doing to that, but I'm gonna turn you over to Valencia, not to embarrass her, but just to welcome her. This is her first time on an American stage, so welcome, Valencia. Woo!
Hello. Okay, so it's lovely to be here. As Richie said, this is my first time on an American stage, as I was based in the UK. So, on Taylor here, what I'm working with is two sections at the front of the head to emphasize the shape of the haircut, and I have two rectangle sections, and I'm alternate three different colors. But the technique I want to show you today, and you can see here, I'm having a base, and then I'm using this modeling technique, using stencil brushes, and just kind of dabbing it to create more of a smudged effect into the tone. And what I'm using is a carbon gray and a flat red. And I'm kind of just working it through.
And what are they, Valencia? They're simple craftsman brushes, yes?
Yes, they are. And it's great because we can kind of get to create different technique and play around. And then some of them, some slices in between, I'm going straight through with the toner, just one color. So again, they create more texture through the hair and to the front.
Cool. So we are here featuring our collection, latest collection, Kidhood. I'll just give you a brief overview from the color perspective. Mark will get into more detail on the collection when he's out here in a bit. And taking inspiration from hyper romance, being inspired by K-pop. So it's a Korean Harajuku type, and what we're doing is creating these chaotic varying tones in the hair, which is, you can see here on Sophia. And Valencia is sharing with you isolated heroes, as she said, combining flat reds with carbon grays. And then you'll see a bit later on, we have Courtney, which is inspired by the lady herself, the queen of grunge, Courtney Love. Great tones. Just working up here. I'm going to share some of my formulas with you right now. I'm using a fantastic alumina line to achieve these denim colors. And what I have here is working with 60 grams of 960, 10 grams of 10 stroke with 10 volume to achieve the denim tone that you have here. And then in my foil, working with two different lines, not touching each other and not combining the lines. And what I have is, for my lightest color, I'm using Innocence 10 stroke 8/8, 45 grams of that, and 15 grams of clear to give you that soft sort of dove tone. And then to complement that, going into a more deeper tone, my pewter, again, working with alumina, fantastic line. I have equal parts of 10 stroke, which is your 10 natural, and your level 8 stroke 6/9, which is your Sundray violet ash tone. And yes, I'm using all with 10 volume. Just continuing brushing up and then brushing down. You don't want to force the smudging of the two in the center there. Just let it happen more organically, but just making sure that you tone all the hair. How is everything going over there, Valencia?
So I'm going to share my formula as well. I am using Innocence. So all my colors here are all from the Innocence range, which I love for the kind of clients that have a more delicate scalp or like more natural kind of feeling to it. So what I'm using, my base that I'm using through the foils here is the 0/0. So it's just kind of very clear. And then for my flat red, I'm using equal parts of 7744, 5566, and 51, which is something that we have kind of started doing a bit more, especially with this collection, mixing the ash tones with the red. And then for my carbon color, I have 7 stroke 1/8. And my all over, so my base, I actually used Color Touch because I wanted a really, really kind of gloss effect. And I kind of tend to use Color Touch a lot in the salon as well, because it's kind of easy to play around, you know, when clients want to change. And I've used equal parts of 4465 and 6645.
Does anybody need any of that translated?
So I'm coming to the top of my section, and as you can see, I haven't closed the foils as we will normally do, but I kind of overlap the foils on top of one another in order to keep the length of the hair not touched and not bending onto each other. So I will let this develop. And normally what I like to do just before I take it off, I just like to smudge all the color together just so I can kind of get a really nice effect of the carbon gray and the red mixed together.
Have you finished?
I have.
Wow. We were on the booth this morning, and she beat me as well. I'm slowing down in my old age.
I had the easier technique.
Last time I lent out my crafter's brushes then.
Yeah, I love this because it's slightly different, you know, from what we normally do. I mean, we still kind of keep in consideration our ABC kind of technique, the way we kind of, you know, teaching and coloring hair, the classic way of Sassoon coloring hair, but we kind of, you know, trying to incorporate something for people to have a bit more fun when we do things like that. Would you agree with that, Richie?
Yeah. Okay, coming to my last section here, I'll do my recap while I'm working. So again, creating the use of texture with color in the hair, strategically placing 2 cube sections just above the temple on the right-hand side, working underneath the parting, alternating my 2 colors per foil. And the black foil going with my lighter color, and then sort of alternating my dark color, 1, 2, 1, 2 in every foil to create more of this texture feel coming through the side here, and that will complement this light denim base that you see here on Sophia. And I will wrap this up.
Lovely, and just to recap on my technique, I have 2 rectangle sections, strategically place the front of the hair, and then just kind of alternating different tones to create as much technique, which we call in the modeling technique.
Hello again, everybody. So we have the completed color looks for you guys to see. I'll start here with Sophia. Again, strategically placing the two cubes just above the round of the temple, but working underneath the parting, and just alternating those two sort of graphite tones of gray and light pewter, just to complement the denim base there. I hope you like it. Yeah. Beautiful modeling effect done by Valencia coming through the front here, alternating the flat red and the carbon gray, one deeper than the other, but then overall complementing this gray base, and I hope you like that as well.